evening and good to have you with us on this edition of the Urban Debate. There is a new crisis center in our country right now in this pandemic, and that's Goa. Goa that has seen a massive surge in cases, massive surge in positivity in just the last 10 days, is now seeing series of deaths and a state government that seems to be in denial of the reality and is unable to do anything about it. Tonight, I'm going to start off this Urban Debate edition with the focus on the state of Goa. And I'll tell you why it is important. On May 11th, 26 deaths were reported between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. at one government hospital. The main government hospital in Goa that sees a large number of patients. 26 deaths reported in the night on May 11th. 21 patients died during the wee hours on May 12th. 15 deaths were reported around the same time on May 13th, and 13 deaths in the wee hours of May 14th. Some of these instances of these 4 days have been directly linked to oxygen shortage. The government may not want to accept that all 72 deaths were due to oxygen shortage, but a large percentage of them were. On May 11th, 26 lives that were lost between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. were linked to the oxygen shortage. But the government said, at that point of time, the state said, let the High Court figure out what happened, probe the deaths. Nothing changed in the coming days. On May 13th, 15 deaths were reported between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. And as the hearings continued, that's actually where we got most of the information from. When the High Court asked the question to the Goa government and the officials had to present the facts before the High Court. But you will be shocked to know the fact that was presented as an excuse, as the argument, as the defense by the state government for these loss of lives. According to the state, it's not because they don't have enough oxygen. It's not because there was an oxygen shortage. It's because the supply was disrupted due to logistic issues. And when we say logistic issues, it's not to say something got stuck in transport somewhere or a vehicle broke down. The state seems to suggest that the oxygen cylinders were being carried on one tractor, and they didn't have a qualified driver to take it into the narrow lanes and connect it to the hospital segment, department, where the supply was being given to the patients. Can you imagine that? The excuse for why there was oxygen supply disruption that has led to a large number of deaths in this one hospital in the last 4 days is the tractor driver wasn't capable enough to maneuver the tractor. I mean, I cannot even imagine what goes on in the minds of the officials whose responsibility it is to fix this problem, if indeed this is the problem. Let me tell you what the High Court had to say about it. That do not give us such excuses. Don't tell us that there was no driver. Don't tell us that you didn't have a spanner. These excuses cannot be counted when it comes to saving lives. This is what the High Court had to tell the state government. Though they haven't intervened with a clear action or punishment yet, but the very, very strict warning has actually come in from the Bombay High Court that was hearing this case. What's going on? That's my simple question. Do we really not care about saving lives anymore in our country? Is that what this is? Let me say good evening to the panelists who are joining us right now. Vijay Sardesai, MLA and President of Goa Forward Party, Mr. Vishwas Pathak of the BJP, and Pramod Acharya, Editor for Prudent Media, joins us this evening on this conversation. Pramod, I want to start off with you first. I mean, I actually had to repeat the details of that hearing again and again to make myself believe this indeed is what was said. And I'm sure that's how the Bombay High Court judges also felt when they said you have to prevail upon all officers that these are not acceptable reasons, that we couldn't get a tractor, couldn't get a driver, technicians, we couldn't get a spanner. These kind of reasons cannot be accepted if people are going to die? What is really going on with the authorities here?
Four issues, primarily shortage of oxygen, which government denied for at least a week. Supply chain issues, getting the oxygen from the factory to the Goa Medical College. Logistic issues, which you very well explained in your initial remarks. And those logistical issues are absolutely ridiculous. And communication issues. Now you will ask me, what are the communication issues? So what we have been told is when the shift over used to happen between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., the workers used to come and change the oxygen cylinder, but nobody was informing the doctors in the COVID ward. So when they used to start the shift over, suddenly the oxygen levels used to drop. The critical patients who were on ventilators used to succumb, and most importantly, nobody was telling the doctors. So if you look at all these four problems, supply, shortage, logistics, and communication, increasingly it looks to me a common sense problem than a resources problem, because there is complete lack of application of mind, there is complete lack of administrative acumen, and mind you, a High Court conducted extensive hearings for 3 days, and suddenly after 3 days, we see things falling in place. So why were they not falling in place for those 10 days? And why they are falling in place now when High Court intervenes, High Court pressurizes, and I'll tell you what happened in the High Court. The people who spoke the least were the lawyers. High Court had to practically call every senior IAS officer, Dean of Goa Medical College, Health Secretary, Revenue Secretary, who are the nodal officers to handle the situation, and cross-question them in front of each other. And High Court was trying to say, okay, like how to solve this problem, And the people who spoke least were the lawyers. It is so frustrating, so distressing that on day one, High Court had to invoke Article 21 of the Constitution and say that we cannot accept these excuses because you are going against the fundamental right to live. Next day, High Court begins its proceedings that we tried to save lives, but still we lost 15 people last night, and we want to apologize to the people of Goa. So it's probably unprecedented that a High Court is apologizing to the citizens. And on day 3, I'm telling you today, just 10 minutes back, I got into my hand the status report filed by the state government. The deadline was 6 p.m. And let me tell you the points that have been addressed in the status report. The number one point is the tractor drivers, which you mentioned. That is the liquid medical oxygen tank that they are setting up outside Goa Medical College. Now, let me remind you that Goa Medical College is the biggest hospital in the state, 1,000-bedded hospital in the state, and it did not have a liquid medical oxygen tank. It is still on a trolley system, which is an archaic system, time-consuming system, and the changeover time is close to 30 minutes. Till day before yesterday, the oxygen levels were dropping for almost 30 minutes. And if that is the changeover time, how do you expect critical patients to survive? The third point is capping the ambulance and hearse run rate. The fourth point is getting the central quota with an increased quantity. And all these points, if you go through them, these are basic points. They should have been addressed probably a month back.
Yes.
And these problems are, and this is a status report filed.
Not just month back, Pramod. I would say a long time ago. I mean, the pandemic actually hit us 14 months ago. And in these 14 months, rather than working on these issues, rather than building on the infrastructure, the state seems to have gone in a reverse direction. And that is what is even more shocking. I was looking at the, the healthcare infrastructure situation there. Oxygen beds as of April 2020, 198. As of Jan 2021, 134. It actually went down. ICU beds April 2020, 118. January 2021, 52. The only improvement that happened was for ventilators, which frankly are not the ones which are needed right now. But the ventilators went up from 66 to 169 in the same time period. I am trying to understand, Mr. Vishwas Pathak, Should we just give the responsibility to the courts to run governments right now and to save lives? Because the states don't seem to be doing their job. They seem to be in constant denial of what is happening.
Certainly not. Courts are doing their job. But so whatever has happened in Goa and whatever reports we have received, it is very unfortunate incidents, whether it is BJP ruled state or no. But whatever lapses are there or difficulties they have observed, it is a matter of great concern, and we have lost 72 lives 4 days in a row. There are a couple of issues here, because on very first night, when those 15, 16 people died, lost their life, on that night, within 20 minutes, oxygen supply was restored. It means oxygen was available in the premises, but there appears to be a manual problem of managing it, which is again not defensible. But again, happening in second day, third day, it is a matter of great concern. And I think there is a committee of 3 members of very high officials has been set up. They may come out with their report tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and we'll come to know what are the exact issues. But this is why it is happening. Basically, this COVID-2, this mutant, it has crossed 1 crore patients in India in just 7 weeks, 10 weeks, as against 10 months in first COVID. So, and nobody anticipated that this mutant would require so much of oxygen. So oxygen demand has gone up, and nobody was aware. Initially, it was required for Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat, and Goa was very much well under control.
So 1 minute. Let's take it point by point, Mr. Vishwas Pathak. Firstly, you are saying that the oxygen is there, but obviously there is some technical supply changeover, whatever issue, this logistic issue as the state calls it. I'm sorry, it's been 4 days and we've not been able to fix it. And you're telling me that a probe committee has been set up that will look into it and come up with its findings in 3 days. So what, every day we're going to lose 20, 30 more lives? Is that how it's going to function? Somebody will come, do some babugiri, find out what happened, write one report, send it to the principal secretary, to the chief secretary, then they will deliberate about it, then they will decide where to find the driver or the tractor or the oxygen cylinder, and till then people will keep dying.
See, Tanvi, again, I'm telling you, I'm not defending it. All I'm trying to say that it is a matter of inquiry, and we'll come to know what is the exact problem. See, it has been faced by this Nasik also, Virar also, Delhi also. Why it is happening all across, that also needs to be understood. And there is no question of defending when people are losing their lives.
No, sir, Mr. Pathak, it's not happening in the same hospital again and again and again. Even in Delhi, the deaths which happened in the hospitals, it never repeated in the same place again, because at least then, after losing some lives, Mr. Pathak, the authorities did wake up.
I fully agree. I also took some information. I can assure you from tomorrow, same kind of mistake will not be repeated. Now, all serious patients have been shifted to supercritical wards. So there is no question of changing oxygen cylinders and all that thing. There will be uninterrupted supply of oxygen. So they are learning from these mistakes. However, it is a matter of concern. Why that happened for 3 days in a row is a matter of concern. It is a matter of inquiry also. Whatever will come out, certainly those who are guilty, they will be punished. And we are thankful to High Court. They are also coming out with some suggestions and all that thing. We welcome that. However, High Courts cannot run all these executive functions.
Well, it is the High Court because of which we are finally at least finding the truth, and some amount of facts are being presented and are coming out in the public domain. If the High Court had not stepped in, I don't know how many more days the officials would have slept on it. Mr. Sardesai, thank you for patiently waiting. I also want to understand from you, is it differences within the government? Are people not even on the same page within the government, which is why this is happening? The chief minister is saying one thing, the health minister is saying another thing, the principal secretary is shooting off letters to the center saying we need more oxygen. To me, as an outsider, it looks completely chaotic.
Yeah, I would agree with Pramod Acharya, who says this is a common sense problem that has been accentuated because of leadership, which is directionless in Goa at the moment. We have a doctor who is also the chief minister, who has ignored science and who has ignored advice, and who couldn't see the second wave coming. During the first wave of COVID, whatever facilities that were established by the government were all dismantled. Most of them were dismantled, which is why the figures reflect the way you have been speaking about it. So we have a problem here where Goa was never better off than the other states. But Goa showed off that we are a green zone, invited people from outside without going into necessary negative certificates as is the practice by all our neighbors. It is an irony that at one time Maharashtra banned Goans and said that Goa is a sensitive area. But Goans did not find it fit to even demand a negative certificate from people who are coming from there. So it's a big irony that we are facing. And I think it is all on account of a leader who is a selected leader and not an elected leader, who has been ensconced in that chair office with a manufactured majority, which is also produced at midnight by breaking 2/3 of one opposition party, not ours. So I think he has come in for some strange reason, in some mysterious reason led him to sit in that chair after the death of Manohar Parrikar. I was in the cabinet of Mr. Manohar Parrikar, and I didn't find that he was in favor of this person also. But I don't know, for some reason, he has got into that chair. And after being in that chair, we have seen a direct impact on Goa's environment by virtue of certain anti-Goan projects, especially with regard to the environment, being not only approved, but being pushed and bulldozed during the pandemic. So now let's come to this issue.
Yes, but Mr. Sardesai, we will, any other day, we will definitely talk about these very serious issues that you are highlighting. But since there is a paucity of time, I want to come back to this fact that day after day after day, night after night after night, rather, people are dying in the same big hospital, government hospital. Today, you also said that 30 more deaths have happened, which were also because of the oxygen shortage, and the government seems to still be in denial of it. Is there any evidence to suggest what's going on the ground and the claim you made?
No, basically, the government was fighting, the chief minister and the health minister were fighting 2 days ago. After the first days of 26 deaths, the chief minister visited this hospital by wearing a PPE and taking a cameraman there, and was almost on the way to get the health portfolio removed from the health minister. Then it is heard, and the statement has come from the president of the BJP here, that the home minister has intervened and their differences are settled. But in spite of those differences being settled, the next day we have 15 more deaths. And last night we have 13 more deaths. So the regularity with which these deaths are happening, I think even the High Court, which has actually intervened and exposed this and actually tried to solve this issue, has also gone soft on the government. Because the High Court, if we go by what the High Court in Karnataka has done with regard to this Chamarajanagar deaths, where they have put the government on notice that you will have to pay compensation for those deaths. But here in the same hospital, and with a strike died, not 72, 75, which clearly shows that I think the High Court also has to not only invoke Article 21, but has to go in for compensation and investigate, not through a committee, investigate the murder at midnight. This murder at midnight is an expression used by the BJP MLA representing the capital city of Panjim. He says that there is murder happening at midnight, post-midnight in the GMC. And the way these deaths are happening and the way the government is trying to defend it, it appears that Goans have no dignity in life nor any dignity in death. There is absolutely no sensitivity shown by the government with regard to deaths. These are mere statistics to them. And I think this is not the Goa that you know of. The Goa that we all know of is a Goa where one accident death used to be debated for days. Here, people all around us are just dying. And they're not dying because of COVID. They're dying because of mismanagement by the powers that be. And who are the guys who are managing the show?
Yes, exactly.
The people who are managing the show are people who are
very right
IAS officers, who are client IAS officers, just brought in because they are yes men of the present chief minister and the government. There are several talented officers who were there during the time of Manohar Parrikar, who are there in service now, who are in the IAS, but who are not fighting this war-like situation. I know we should not do politics at this time, And we are all for cooperating with the government. We have been giving several suggestions to them. In the opposition benches, we have 4 ex-chief ministers, 2 ex-deputy chief ministers. We have always been wanting to advise and help the government. But the government seems to be always in an election mood. Because 6 months from now, we have got the general elections coming.
Well, let me take up that point and go back to Pramod on it and Mr. Sardesai. And I want to ask Pramod Acharya this as well. Pramod, what has happened in terms of preparation in the last 1 month when the entire country was seeing a massive tsunami of cases? Were there any steps taken at all in terms of healthcare infrastructure preparation? Because I do agree with Mr. Sardesai on one point. These deaths are not due to COVID. It's because we were not ready to treat COVID patients.
I'll give you one simple example. Almost a month and a half back, everybody realized the enormity of the situation looking at the Mumbai and the Delhi situation. So everybody in Goa started demanding that there should be some amount of restrictions on movement of people. At least movement of people coming from outside, and if there are too many business considerations, economic considerations involved, then at least make a RT-PCR test of 48 hours or 72 hours mandatory. Nobody listened to it. I don't know why. After that, the situation started going out of hand. So everybody started saying, let us go for a curfew or a lockdown, at least for 15 days, because if the cases in Goa increase with the same speed, then our health infrastructure is completely incapable of tackling them. Nobody listened. When the cases crossed and the positivity rate crossed 40%, the local self-governing bodies, now this is very interesting, the panchayats, the local panchayats and local municipalities, they started localized lockdown. And it is not one municipality or 2 municipalities of 3 panchayats. Across Goa, majority of panchayats and municipalities started issuing their own lockdown orders. Now there is no legal sanctity to the lockdown orders, but there was so much panic, there was so much fear, and people started following those lockdown orders without any legal sanctity, but people on ground started following those lockdown orders. Shopkeepers, office goers, everybody started following out of panic and fear. That compelled this government to impose the present curfew and of 15 days. Because the local self-governing bodies and the people at large started self-imposing lockdown and self-imposing curfew. And that led to the political pressure which led to this curfew that we are experiencing today. So if you want me to give you a classic example of how the decision making has been for last couple of months, this is it. That even when people of the state were demanding that there needs to be restriction on movement from people coming from outside the state and people within the state government simply refused to impose any restriction. That is beyond logic. That's why I said, yes. For me, yes, there is a resource crunch, there is a resource problem because the enormity of the situation is such. However, for me, this is a bigger common sense problem because making RT-PCR certificate mandatory for people coming in or putting restrictions on movement of people or stopping public functions, weddings, birthdays, these were simple decisions that could have probably reduced this mortality rate by 30 to 40%. But those decisions were never taken on time, and when the situation went out of hand,
it would have definitely, Pramod, you're right, timely steps in terms of curbs and restrictions, just like Maharashtra did, could have reduced the cases for sure, and with lower cases, the burden on the healthcare infrastructure would have been lesser as well. But I don't see any movement in terms of rebuilding the healthcare infrastructure, which was dismantled after the first wave, because the government seems to have gone into a snooze mode after that, thinking, oh, everything is fine now. We will move on to the vaccination mode and nothing needs to be bothered about. I'm going to thank all of the panelists for joining us right now. But viewers, think about this right now. Think about this for a minute. Every night for the last 4 days, people have died in the same hospital. 26 on day 1, 21 on day 2, 15 on day 3, 13 on day 4. Even if we have to take the state government's claim on face value that there is no shortage of oxygen, even though within the government there are a few voices who are contradicting this. It's even worse that you had the oxygen and you still couldn't save lives. That for 4 straight days you've not been able to fix the same one problem. If you are refilling or changing your cylinders in the night, bringing in the new additional stock and doing the whole changeover, how can you not figure out how to ensure that the oxygen supply doesn't get disrupted? That you can't maneuver a tractor, that you don't have a qualified driver, or you don't know how to continue with an uninterrupted supply of oxygen are the worst kind of examples and excuses that you can give. And this state government stood up and gave these explanations as logistical issues for why real people, humans are dying, not because of COVID, because of these kind of abject failures by the government. Let us hope by tomorrow it is fixed. The Bombay High Court has asked the government to submit a report by tomorrow, and if they're not convinced, they're going to convene again on the weekend and look into this matter. It can't be 3 दिन के बाद probe committee की report आएगी, then we will try and fix this problem as the state seems to indicate. Thank you so much for joining us on debate number 1.